Hi, it's Roxanne. I'm here to answer the questions from Module 2. The first question asks us, as counselors, how would we approach our clients and what type of icebreaker would we use? Well, I feel that every situation is going to be different. I do believe in the positive approach where you look at what's going well in your life and you get your client thinking and that you lead them down a road of thinking positively. However, having been on the side of the client in my life before, I know how frustrating it can be when I feel like people don't hear me. They sugarcoat or candy coat my situation, or so it seems. And sometimes I just felt like I wanted to get to the heart and the meat of my problem, which was where the pain was. And so going through the rodeo of, well, tell me what's wonderful about your life, what went well today, would turn my stomach because I seriously just wanted the pain to stop. I was in a place that was dark and very low in my life, and I was crying out for help in so many different ways. And I saw the positive in my life. I knew what was going well in my life, and I wanted to find that again on a daily basis. So I would have to look at each situation from a very different viewpoints and feel the clients, really assess them, get to know them a little bit better, who they are, how they think, do some research into the situation. So on the one hand, I would ask, what's going well with you? What works with you? But on the other hand, I may just have to sit down with them and cry, allow them to cry, empathize, and just let them know someone's there and that someone really cares. Another question in the lineup asks, how do people learn to relate to others in their environment? Well, for me, I see this as a teacher. And one of the strengths I see in children is adaptability. I see children that move to our school from not just other schools, but other cultures, other countries, other cultures, where English is not even a language that they, not only is it not a second language, they just simply don't know it, period. They don't understand the colors that they see. They don't understand anything about this environment. And yet they adapt. And I see that that is their first step, is adaptability. I believe that in order to relate to others, you have to have a sense of belonging. You have to feel like you belong. And there again in lies the adaptability piece. So I feel like when children and people can become adaptable with their environment in a positive way, in a positive environment, then that opens the door to communication, trust, and really leaves the path wide open for them. Another question says, what is important to me? Well, what about me do I value most? I would say the number one thing I value most is that my mother raised me in a very strong Christian home. And so my faith is very important to me. And with that as my umbrella that guides me, my shining light, and guides me in my daily walk, my family and my relationships are very important to me. And I'm very thankful that I was raised with the morals and values that my mother instilled in me from a very young age. And she taught me another quality that I pride myself in having, and that is acceptance and love unconditionally. And while I don't want to be a doormat and I'm not going to just sit back and allow people to treat me any way they like, I look for the good in other people's, let's say, their intentions when it comes to befriending me or asking something of me, and I can only see the good in their intentions, and therefore I build relationships based on my trust in them. And I'm glad that my mother raised me to think that way and not to have my guard up at all times and to be, wary of what someone's intentions possibly are. Another question that was asked is, what is our ideal counseling session? Well, my ideal counseling session would be certainly on some type of a farm where there's animals involved. There would be horse therapeutic sessions. There would be sessions involving dogs and cats and birds. And each of my rooms would have a fish tank because I believe that's extremely relaxing and therapeutic. It's listening to the water and watching the fish swim about. But big cushy chairs, some hot cocoa, hot tea, coffee, anything to make the client really feel comfortable and safe. And there would certainly have to be play area for small children and an area where children can be creative. Because I feel like when children are comfortable and in their comfort zone and they feel safe, they're going to open up and you're going to be able to learn a lot about that child and about what they've been through in their life and where they need to go and what direction that you can assist them in their healing process. So I just imagine this big old farmhouse that has a barn on its property and just open to anyone who needs an ear or who just needs some structured therapy. So that's my ideal setting. Relationships. What do I think is important in building relationships? Well, I was watching the other videos and I completely agree with what everyone says about trust and about building relationships based on honesty. And I believe that relationships begin with faith. I believe that you have to have faith in the possibility of the relationship in order to build the trust, and honesty will come along with that. In addition to that, I believe that having strong communication skills and being willing to open up and share part of you with others and to be able to listen when others are sharing about themselves, those are very important factors that I think it takes to have a positive working relationships. And that goes with spouses, parents, and children. I believe that also goes with friends, teachers, goes with administrators and their teachers or students, and certainly counselors and their clients. I believe that we all learn by example. And the old saying that says you reap what you sow, I see it on a daily basis in our students. And I try to really look for the positive in that you reap love and honesty and values and morals into children and spending time with them and reading with them as parents, spending that quality time sitting in front of games on a table and not a television set, going for walks in a park, spending quality time listening to one another and teaching your children good listening skills by leading by example. And I really truly believe that that leads to stronger children, to stronger adults who are more confident in themselves and in their abilities. And certainly when they face adversity, that gives them a foundation to really stand on and to trust and believe in. Continuing on, talking about dysfunction. Well, I think and I believe that we are all a product of our upbringing and our environment. And to piggyback on what I said just a moment ago, when I said that we learn by example and we reap what we sow, this is exactly what I mean. I believe that people are truly born innately good. They're children of God. They're born with a purpose and born with a reason. I certainly do not believe that children are born or that people are born dysfunctional. I believe that is a trait that is learned, and I believe that is a trait that is mimicked, and that is reacting to a situation in their life that brings out this area of darkness for the individual, whether they are the perpetrator or the victim. I certainly can see it going in either direction, sadly. And I do see it at school in my children from time to time. And certainly that goes right along with, I believe that people grow through their faith. And I just don't believe there's any other way to grow except through faith. You know, it starts with faith in God, but counselors have to have faith in themselves, faith in what they're doing, and in order to instill faith in their clients, they have to have faith in who they're going to talk with, who they can trust. And so I just think that is a very concrete, I think that's such a concrete, term that we have to keep sewn deep within our soul. And once we let that go, it's like trying to breathe without oxygen. I just simply don't believe that it is possible. Finally, I think the role of a counselor, certainly the most important role in my mind, is someone who is a very good listener. But not just listening with their ears, but listening with their heart. Really listening and looking through the person and thinking about everything they're saying, watching their body movements, listening to their nonverbal communication, and really assessing the situation as a whole, not just based on the words coming out of their mouth. And I think when someone can be an active listener in that fashion, then that enables them to give the closest and the best advice to guide and lead this person toward recovery in more ways than anyone thought possible. I believe that our mind is the most important tool that we have, and that mind can certainly be used against us if we don't nurture it. So I truly believe that being a good listener and being a nurturer is extremely important in the role of a counselor. And finally, change. What do I think about change? Well, I think change is definitely constant. I think it is certain, and I think it's confirmed. And with that, I believe that through faith and through perseverance, we should welcome change and meet it head on. Now, I'm not a person who really likes a lot of change, and I like things to pretty much stay the same way. But I have certainly come to respect and realize that change can be good, and that we need to meet it face to face with a positive outlook on life. Well, I hope I've answered all the questions, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I certainly look forward to seeing all of you in class in a couple of weeks. Take care.